it was like I made a Twitter movement, it got trending, blah, blah, blah. Pat McAfee decided to talk to every other Madden YouTuber except for the guy who created the hashtag about it. He invited me on the show and then ghosted me. That's another story.
What a fucker.
So I don't like Pat McAfee anymore.
Fuck Pat McAfee. Your first 5 videos have like several million views.
I know. And that was with like a couple thousand subscribers. Somehow
do you have
YouTube was just pushing it out.
Do you have any background in, I don't know, creating content, fucking voiceover work, script writing, anything that's related to how, to this?
No.
What did you do in that time when you said you were working only 4 hours? Because I never understood this. Like, how did you do the rest of your time for the week? Of like, if you could get your shit done in 4 hours, you'd literally achieve the 4-hour work week, which is like that book with Tim Ferriss. Like, right. Who the hell gets to that? It's one of my favorite books. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, you went from Target working a dead-end job to literally 4 hours a week. What was that like?
You're listening to Bought with Nelly.
I'm recording. We're good to go. Yeah, you good?
Oh, yeah. Have we already started, or was that part like a?
I don't know. I guess maybe I should give you an introduction. Yeah.
Yeah, like a beginning.
Yeah, a beginning. Tell me.
A clear beginning.
At birth, how much did you weigh?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Great.
I think a lot.
A lot. I guess people might not know, but you're sports drink, soft drink. You make Madden.
You got it wrong.
You make Madden content, and you make retro reviews. You're mostly known for your Madden bashing content, which you're extremely proud of.
Are you using that?
I think I will.
Can I define myself?
All right, go ahead.
So I have a channel mostly dedicated to retro sports games. That's what it's about. Also commentary on modern sports games, but mostly retro sports games. And occasionally not sports games, but usually it follows the retro theme, mostly focused on the 6th gen of consoles. But I've been starting to do more varied stuff, like my Tecmo Super Bowl video, which is like a 8-bit, 16-bit game.
I want to see what you uploaded recently. I've only seen stuff on Twitter, or on Instagram, but have you still been making retro? Okay, 2K, Tecmo, Super Bowl, very nice, NFL head coach. Oh wow, look at this. Some of these retros are killing, bro. Nice. That's awesome.
Look at the NHL video. It has over 100K somehow.
Dude, this is beautiful. This is unbelievable. Well done.
Like, I'm trying new things, and I'm actually getting views. And yeah, I think I found the secret.
You found the secret sauce. So I reached out to you maybe like a year or so ago, maybe a bit more, because you made a lot of videos on criticizing Madden, and I made a really big video on criticizing EA with FIFA, and we kind of broed out a little bit about that. You came on the pod, we talked a lot about that in the first one. It was an interesting conversation, but I think you as a character, to me, are a much more interesting character study, I guess. So if we can explore that a little bit today, I think that would be fun.
Sure.
So here's the interesting part. When we first talked, I remember you telling me that you were so happy you were crushing, and like it was not a lot of effort to crush, which is like a position almost no one has on YouTube. YouTube is literally the inverse. It's like a lot of grind, and in the early days you have no success, and you hope at some point, like 5, 6, 7 years in, that success turns into a livable income. You, within the first, year or so, were already crushing. Like, you could sustain that and live off it.
The first month. I just started.
Did you think it was, like, normal for that to happen with, like, as a YouTube, as a career path, I guess, or, you know?
I wouldn't say I was that surprised, because when I first started, my first video that did anything, well, I was surprised actually about the Eli Manning video, which is now unlisted because it just has nothing to do with my channel. So the first video that ever did well on my channel was the Eli Manning video. I just kind of uploaded it to show my friends. Like I had no desire for it to get views, and it got like over 100K. So I was like, what the heck? So I had like 500 subs, but that really doesn't matter. The real first video was the fall of Madden NFL series with like the yellow thumbnail, which I've since made an updated, better version of that video. But that video I worked on for like a few months. So in my head, I was like, this will get views, even though I'm nobody, because I'm putting in more effort than anyone who's made any comparable video. And yeah, that was basically it. Like no one had made a video like that, and all the Madden YouTubers really don't. At the time, I don't want to.
Oh baby, let's get going. Who do we want to go after today?
Well, at the time, I noticed most Madden YouTubers talking about the game being bad or good or whatever. They would just have like unedited footage of the game for 10 minutes with them rambling with no script. I literally put everything I said on the screen as evidence. And I just knew the video would do well, and it did. And then what I didn't expect to keep doing well after that.
Right.
Because after that, I followed it up with a 2K5 video. That's got like 900K views now. If you look at if you sort my channel by oldest.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
I was averaging
Holy
insane.
shit.
Like, I don't know how. I want to go back.
The first 5 videos, for anyone that's now, I'm going to show it on screen. The Fall of Madden has 992,000. Greatest NFL video game, 940K. The Last Madden, 730. Emulating old sports games in 4K, 400K. All Pro Football has 5. Like, you were just... What is this? Your first 5 videos have like several million views.
I know. And that was with like a couple thousand subscribers. Somehow
do you have
YouTube was just pushing it out.
Do you have any background in, I don't know, creating content, fucking voiceover work, script writing, anything that's related to how, to this?
No.
You learned how to do all of it just on your own and said, hey, you know what? I feel like I'm going to make some videos here. Let's figure this all out.
If I don't know how to do something, I look it up on YouTube.
Educational background. What's the educational? What were you going to go into?
So let's see. I graduated high school 2017. Fall 2017, I went to college. I was getting a computer science degree. And it was really, really hard. My teachers were horrible. I have to learn a certain way. I guess I'm a visual learner, or not visual. I don't know. It's like you have to, hands-on. I have to actually do it with trial and error to understand it. So I'm good at teaching myself. But like when I had teachers that just on their whiteboard, they would just write the definitions of all the computer science terms. Then they'd be like, all right, tonight's homework is make a functioning calculator program. And I had no idea how. I was like, what program do I even open to start coding? Like, all you showed me was the definition of words. So I was really struggling. I was paying illegally. I paid people on Reddit to do my assignments for me.
No way.
And I was broke. I was working at a grocery store making like no money. So I had no choice. I was going to get a 0, or I could pay someone $20 on Reddit who's desperate, and then and I had no. And then as the class kept going, I just kept getting more and more lost because I would go to class, I would pay attention, I would take notes. I think I just had the worst teachers of all time. So anyway, I changed my major a few times, but I finished all my core classes, but I really had no future plan. I was kind of worried. I started working at Best Buy, and I thought I could maybe move up there, but I hate working retail. I think everyone does, because customers are like the worst people of all time.
Sure. And
then, so 2019, I quit Best Buy because I'm kind of sick of like customers, and I become a coach for youth, like soccer, football, basketball, like a coach / ref. Like I'd alternate. That job was fun, but it barely paid me anything. So I then went to Target, but I worked produce. So I didn't have to talk to customers. I just put like oranges out. So when I was working at Target was when YouTube, I uploaded that video, The Fall of Madden, and then I uploaded those other videos. I got monetized in April, like really quickly after I uploaded that fall of Madden video. In that first month, I think I made over $1,000 in my first month on YouTube.
Right.
So I quit Target without even notice, because I was like, this is more than I would make 1 month at Target. Like,
All right.
I'll just quit. And then I just kept uploading after that. I tried to upload weekly. I would say 2019, 2020 were successful than most of 2021, and there's a reason for that. But 2019, 2020, I would try to upload weekly, and I made pretty good money. I remember last podcast, as you mentioned, I talked about how I would put in as little work as I could, really, to make as much money as I could. My philosophy on that has actually changed. Right now, I'm trying to upload as much as I can, maintaining the quality to make as much money as I can. I
Sure.
think I want to buy a house. I just want a lot of things, and to get things, you need money. So instead of, spending like 5 to 10 hours a week to make like 3 to 5K a month, I can work 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with like a very flexible break, not even really go that hard, but I'm my own boss. Monday through Friday, as long as I stick roughly to that schedule, and I upload 2 to 3 times a week, it's going to be insane.
Yeah.
I started that a few weeks ago. I uploaded the Tech Mobile video and the NHL video and then the NBA 2K video, like back to back to back, and it was really paying off. And then I got sick, which ruined everything, because it broke. I was so motivated, and then that ruined everything. So now I'm finally not sick. Today's Monday, back on the grind. I'm trying to finish a video right now on the fall of NASCAR video games.
I have a question, I guess, because we kind of talked. Yeah. Well, I mean, me of you had like philosophical talks. I think the most about what's the greater goal? What are you trying to achieve? Because you went from, like you said, working at Target, or like one of these kind of dead-end jobs that literally everyone that complains about jobs complains about, to making very good money within an absurd amount of time for any standard. I would say, even if like this was a completely different career path, we would say like, wow, this guy went from 10K a year to whatever, let's say it was 100, which is like, it's absurd, right? What did you do in that time when you said you were working only 4 hours? Because I never understood this. Like, how did you do the rest of your time for the week? Of like, if you could get your shit done in 4 hours, you'd literally achieve the 4-hour work week, which is like that book with Tim Ferriss. Like, right. Who the hell gets that? Yeah, please. You got the book? It's one of my favorite books. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, you went from Target, working a dead-end job, to literally 4 hours a week. What was that like? The time frame, your mindset,
It wasn't really intentional. It was more that I'm lazy. So when most people would probably say, look how much money I'm making, I'm going to put in a bunch of hours into this, I was more like, wow, I don't feel like working today, but I'm getting recurring revenue. Because like YouTube, I get paid every single day, regardless if I upload or not. So for me at the time, the money from just uploading once a week or once a month even was way more than I was used to. So I was fine with that. I was like, why should I work anymore? I don't need to at the moment.
Some people have an opposite reaction, though. Some people have a different reaction. Some people have I'm making so much money, I'm going to go buy a car. I'm going to go buy jewelry. I'm going to do this. And next thing you know, the well runs dry. But what made you want to conserve your money to have more free time? And what were you doing in your free time?
Playing video games.
That's it, really?
Hanging out with my girlfriend, hanging out with friends, like playing basketball.
You retired at 20. You retired at 20.
That's kind of how it feels. Like my friends, I always ask them to hang out, and they're like, "We have jobs."
Yeah,
and I'm like, "Oh, me too, I guess." I feel bad. Like I feel guilty.
Sure.
A lot, because it's such a privileged situation, but at the same time, should I feel guilty because I earned it, right? Or is it luck? I don't know. But when I made that first video, I knew if I put in more effort than everyone else making a similar video, it will eventually get views. I've always had this philosophy that a really good video will always get views, and it's worked. Although I wouldn't say my videos are really good, but
you're literally 2 years in. Is that correct?
Yeah, I know. But like I said, I'm lazy. Like,
yeah.
my videos could be so much better if I put more time into them.
But I just compared to me, I'm like, my first year or 2 years were literally, if I go back and watch that, I'd have to blow my brains out as I'm watching it because it's unwatchable. It's absolutely horrendous.
I mean, if you watch my early videos, the audio is really. I didn't know how to talk to a mic, so I sound like I'm whispering, but whispering loudly. Okay. So they were a bit rough. There's a big reason why I remade that Fall Madden video into the Sad Decline video, which is way better. Because I just wasn't. Because I wanted that to be like, it's a video. It's something I'm really passionate about. So I wanted the video to be really good. And back then it was good for me in 2019, but I made one December 2020, and it was much better. Because I've learned every video I make, I basically learn more stuff. And now I'm making another learning transition because I've switched from Premiere Pro on Windows to Final Cut Pro on Mac, which is I'm in process of learning that. I'm still going to use Premiere Pro for my next few videos because I have to find time to learn that.
Of course.
So
not jeopardizing the quality of your work as well, right? You don't want to switch to a new thing and destroy the quality of your content. I think you're one of the first guys I talked to, and after I talked to you, mostly actually off podcast, after we talked, I went to my friend Stallion, who now is also kind of doing YouTube full time. He wasn't at the time, but I'm like, bro, there's a way. There's a way. I've seen the path. It can be done. Like before that, I always it was a very distant reality, let's say. It was like, I could see it, but it's like, I haven't really talked to anyone that's done it. So it's when you told me like, hey, I figured out a way to make an income from this, to have a living, I was like, dude, there is. I know a guy. It's going to sound crazy. You know that book 4 Hour Workweek? He's fucking actually doing it. It's wild. I don't know how he's doing it, but he's doing it. So that to me was like, I don't know, motivation maybe, or an eye-opening, but it was a great conversation. I can't believe that you did it. So what happened from that point on, let's say, after you had some success? Did you fall into the pitfalls of YouTube, you know, too successful, you're not as motivated, you know, all that stuff?
Well, what happened was my first few videos, I was picking all the best topics, like all the best like NFL video games, NFL 2K5 retrospective, that was obviously going to bang. As I kept going, I started to run out of games. Like I was like, wait a second, what
right.
what else can I talk about? So I did a video on a NASCAR game, and now it has 70K views. And I remember at the time I was pissed off. I was like, why is it not getting over 300K like all the other ones? And I got spoiled early because 70K views when you have a couple thousand subs on a NASCAR video.
Yeah, on a NASCAR video.
It's fantastic.
Right.
So my perspective has definitely changed a lot. I've also matured mentally a lot in these past 2 years. Like I've been a real like idiot at times, and just really stupid and not realizing the situation I found myself in. You know, just taking it all for granted. There's been some stupid moments. I'd say this year started off pretty bad because the end of 2020, I found this thing called Delta 8, which is this like legal version of THC, which is like a drug. You can buy it legally here where I live. I live in Georgia in the US. You can buy it, and it's basically like a slightly less potent weed, but if you just eat like 2 of the edibles, like double the dosage you would of normal weed, it hits exactly the same. So I got straight up like addicted to it. It was so much fun because I had all that free time, right?
Of course,
do the videos. So what I would do is I would just get high all the time and play video games, eat a bunch of food, watch TV. And right. When the time came to make a video, I'd be like,
put it off. Really, you kept putting it off. Yeah.
Right. And I would go, there was like I think I went months without uploading at some point this year. Like my uploads this year, if you count them, is way less than the other 2 years. I finally quit. I tried to quit many times. It's really hard. And it's funny because no one ever talks about like THC and weed as being addictive. They say it's like the one drug that's not addictive. And it's true in a sense. Like I'm not going to start like having a seizure or like freaking out, and like my body's not going to have a severe reaction where I need to go to the hospital from quitting. But my mind, it's mentally addictive, where when you first quit after heavy THC usage, everything, because that like improves all your senses and makes everything cooler, more interesting. When you go off of it cold turkey, everything is so dull and boring that it's just depressing, and that lasts for like a week.
I mean, there's a similar thing with alcohol as well, right? When you got that nice little buzz going and you're out and you got that feeling, you can fall in love with that too. And you can, I mean, that's anything in life, right? You can fall in love with potato chips. You like the crunch of potato chips every day. You eat those every day. Yeah, that's going to be a habit. It's like any habit. It's hard to break. Coffee. I drink coffee twice a day. Is that not an addiction? Probably.
It's definitely an addiction.
Probably, right?
I mean, but yeah, my biological dad, he's had like issues with alcohol. I believe he still does, but I think he's working on it. So I think genetically, I'm not a scientist, but I think I'm like more likely to get addicted to something. Like I have the likelihood of having an addictive personality, and I've definitely seen that. So I'm glad it was THC and not alcohol. I personally don't drink because it sounds stupid, but I hate how it tastes. Like if I could take an edible that tastes like almost nothing, swallow it and get super high, I'd much rather do that than drink like 10 shots of the worst tasting thing of all time.
Right.
No, that might be because when I was in like middle school, high school, I wasn't like a popular kid, so I didn't go to parties and stuff and drink. So I didn't start trying drinking till I was like 18, and I was just like, this doesn't taste good.
Right, of course.
And I have to drink so much to feel anything. I never, like I bought Mike's Hard Lemonade before, and it's so sugary. Just one of them doesn't make you feel anything. You got to drink a bunch of them. At that point, you're like 500 liquid calories down, like 200 grams of sugar. So, yeah.
We were talking about
what were we talking about before?
Are we both high?
My upload schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, that first week of getting through quitting edibles is the hardest, but I got through that first week finally after like 100,000 attempts. And now I'm finally in a productive state of mind. And that's when I started. If you look at my channel, I've changed my logo to red, and my last 3 videos have a red thumbnail border.
Yeah.
That's the new era. The new era, SoftdrinkTV era.
I'll show people.
More varied content, because we can talk about this more if you want. But
we can talk about anything.
People have dissed me in the past, YouTubers, that I'm just a Madden bashing channel. That if Madden was a good game, I wouldn't exist. That I'm straight up the same thing as Ryan Moody. If you know who Ryan Moody is, people say I am just like Ryan Moody, and I'm friends with Ryan Moody. No disrespect to him, but I find that really insulting because, one, he uploads like 3-4 videos a day that are not edited, just a voiceover and like a still image.
Yeah, tell people what he uploads specifically for people that might not know.
He makes videos about Madden, like breakdowns, like a screenshot of Madden or like a 10-second clip of Madden, and then he breaks it down explaining like why it's bad. And he's recently made videos about the new NASCAR game. So
he's branching out too.
Madden.
Whoa, he branched out too.
He's made NASCAR videos before, but just rarely because I guess they don't perform as well as the Madden ones. But people always compare me to him. They're like, "Oh yeah, Ryan Moody and Softdrink, the 2 toxic Madden haters." And like Ryan Moody will make a video about a certain YouTuber and talk about him, and then battle with them on Twitter, and all of a sudden people are saying I'm toxic too. Like I don't think he's toxic, by the way, but I'm just saying, being lumped in with him, I think our channels are not comparable. I make long form videos. He makes short form videos. I upload weekly, twice a week. He uploads every single freaking day.
He doesn't even put up a thumbnail. That's hilarious.
I know, and I've just always been bothered by that comparison. But if he's watching this, I don't mean it in a mean way. Like I like Ryan Moody, and his channel has a purpose, and it fills that purpose. I just think our channels are not comparable.
No, I agree. You've made very different content, and not only that, you've succeeded in every almost different kind of content you made, which is something that's extremely difficult to do on YouTube, which is a platform of niches, which is like what I'm trying to struggle with as well. How do you not be a niche in this world? Is it possible? Maybe I also have to do some soul searching and thinking what I want to do next year, but this year it's just so tough. Even if you have the best guests, best content, it's so tough to go against the algorithm. I don't know, but the challenge is fun. That's That's what I like. But you struggle. Okay, so we both kind of struggled with a similar thing. We both struggled with, okay, we're the guys that play this game that we really hate, and we keep making content on it. It's like, where does that end? For me, I realized that there was really no light at the end of the tunnel for me personally. So that's why I stopped. I realized, okay, so let's take a look at this picture like from the outside. EA is making FIFA. FIFA is going to be garbage for years to come. Best case scenario, at some point, loot boxes get outlawed, and they're still going to be garbage, and then it's going to take like another 5 years before someone comes into the scene, takes over. It's mostly filled with content creators who have built their identity on opening packs. So the content space isn't changing. So that's going to be the number one content going forward, even for years to come. And once that escapes, I don't know what the next thing will be, but like at that point, it's like, who's going to wait that long to figure out what's going to happen? So to me, it seemed like there was no end in sight. One with the game getting better, another one with me having something to do with the game. Like, I don't see how I can make content if I hate this thing so much. And ultimately, what's going to happen is people that watch my content are going to be like, wow, he hates this game so much. And now I finally realize I hate the game. I lose a viewer. I lose a person, a subscriber. And to me, that was great. I which is counterproductive, obviously. And I think maybe you would even agree here. I would rather they don't watch my content if they don't enjoy the game. I would rather they do something positive with their time. I think of it as like, in the smallest way possible, I've done a greater service to the planet, that this person has now invested their time in not an EA product, not an EA. So to me, I was always swimming up a current, and that current seemed endless. So like eventually I would run out of energy, and that could be views, let's say. I'm not going to get new subscribers for a game I'm bashing. It makes no sense. It doesn't, like, so if you're going to watch my content, who are you ultimately? You know, I'm going to dwindle down my audience into nothing. And that's kind of like, okay, well, what am I doing here? Like, do I have to be doing this? Not really.
So, you know, I would actually somewhat disagree to some of what you said, because as humans, we have a strong like negativity bias. So people are drawn to negative news. If you go in the news, they're not going to talk about like Jim got an A on his math test. They're going to talk about like shooting downtown.
Right.
So you might get demonetized for me saying shooting. I'm not sure. YouTube's weird these days.
Well, you're not making that much money here for that matter. So say whatever you want. Shit, cunt balls. It don't matter.
You clip it up though. You upload clips, so
yeah,
it doesn't really matter. Okay. What was I saying? Shooting negativity bias, right?
news. Yeah, fueling negativity. Yeah. I think you were gonna hint at.
So my biggest problem with my channel in the past has been when I make a video about criticizing Madden, they always do really, really, really well. I always gain, despite what you said, a ton of new subscribers when I do it. The problem is it's gotten repetitive because Madden just doesn't really change year to year, despite what the game changers and the Madden YouTubers they'll say, oh, Softdrink's an idiot. They've changed so much. Look at the font this year. But the game really hasn't changed. So when I make a video about Madden being bad, it's like I'm just repeating myself at this point. Like it's still missing everything I said it was missing before. Like I could just my Madden 21 review could have literally been like 30 seconds if I didn't want to be redundant. But then there's the issue of new viewers. If a new viewer, I had this problem with the NFL Drop EA video, which is now taken down because there's a few reasons. I've taken some of my videos down, like probably 20 of them.
Whoa.
But yeah, I have reasons for each one. But the NFL Drop EA video, it was on Reddit. It went to r/videos. I didn't upload it, and it became the top post on Reddit r/videos. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. I clicked on the comments. The first comment, over 2,000 upvotes, said, this is a terrible video. I'm only upvoting it because of the title. Because the title was, the NFL needs to drop EA and let other companies make games too. It was like I made a Twitter movement. It got trending, blah, blah, blah. Pat McAfee decided to talk to every other Madden YouTuber except for the guy who created the hashtag about it. He invited me on the show and then ghosted me. That's another story.
What a fucker.
So I don't like Pat McAfee anymore.
Fuck Pat McAfee.
I mean, I didn't even watch the show before. I was just drawn to his celebrity status. Like, oh, I can be on a big show? Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
It's not like I was a viewer. A bit unpopular of an opinion, though, because it's like the most popular like NFL podcast. But What
We
was
were
I
talking
saying?
about negativity, but I think what you were trying to get at, and I agree with you in a sense. Maybe I should have been a little more clear about in general where that was going. So yeah, with FIFA news, with Madden news, with Madden reviews, whatever it is, yeah, there's going to be a viewership for that, and maybe you'll get subscribers, but like you still have to keep making those videos. So ultimately, it's like, what am I doing? Like if I'm going to continue making, and let's say and I could have done this year if I really wanted to, just make news videos, super easy, give my opinion, talk shit about EA. We'll never get partnered with EA if I keep doing that. Obviously, we'll never be a big YouTuber for them in their scene. And ultimately, I wouldn't be happy with that. It's like everyone knows why. It's like kind of like we're playing this weird game. It's like we all know why we're here, but like, why are we here? Do you know? Everyone's here. We're all watching the video, but why? Why can't we just disconnect? You know what I mean? So to me, it was like this weird like Black Mirror thing.
So I just remembered my train of thought. I was going to tie that NFL Drop EA thing. So the top Reddit comment said it was a terrible video, and I was reading the thread. If you just search NFL Drop EA Reddit on Google, you can find the thread if the viewer wants to. But a lot of people were bashing me for the main reason I wasn't specific enough. They said, I don't know why I should care. And the thing is, the video was, at the time, I thought, I've made so many videos about Madden being bad, I don't need to repeat myself again. The downside to that is when you make a video that new viewers see, for example, all those people on Reddit saw my channel for the first time. If you don't repeat yourself, the new viewers have no idea, so it's kind of a weird balance where you don't want to repeat yourself because you'll bother your viewers, but you have to repeat yourself to inform new viewers. My current process with Madden videos is I'm sick of it. There's not much I need to say anymore. I already made the Sad Decline part 1 and 2, which is like, if anyone wants to find out what the problems with Madden are, they watch those 2 videos, and it's the best videos on YouTube on the subject. No competition, no dispute. Like, I'm not even being cocky. There's nothing even remotely similar. Unless you want to like binge watch every single Ryan Moody video ever together, you probably get a similar vibe. That'd be a lot of watching.
If Ryan's watching these, like, please do that. Disable ad block.
But I will say, those videos did have a purpose. New people coming to those videos who may be parents buying Madden for their kids. They don't know anything about the game. They just know, oh, it's the NFL game they have at the store. It's the only NFL game they have at the store. It's got to be good. It's $60. It's made by EA. I've heard things about EA. So a parent, a mom, a dad, they are not going to know that Madden's franchise mode sucks compared to Madden 05. They're too busy with their own life. Same with kids who are brand new to Madden. Kids who they just got their first PlayStation, their first console, they're 12, they're 13, they're 14. They didn't play the PS2 gen. They don't know all that stuff. So the main point of those videos was to inform people, and I think they did a very good job at that. But at this point in time, I don't want to annoy my viewers. And it seems like my subscriber base is split between, please make only Madden bashing videos. That is all we want. They basically want me to be, I guess, a higher production quality, longer, less frequently uploading Ryan Moody is what people want from me. My other subscribers get pissed if I upload a Madden video, and they say, we are so sick of this. Please do anything else.
Right.
And I honestly think that's the minority, because if you look at the stats in the Madden videos, they always explode. So it's kind of like in my head, it's like, okay, do I make the Madden video that'll get guaranteed 400K views, make me a couple $1,000s no matter what? Or do I try something different that has a chance of just flopping? And right now, my thought process is upload more frequently, and then it doesn't matter if it flops. So, like I said, I have the new schedule 8 to 4. My plan is to Monday, Tuesday, make and finish a video to upload Wednesday, and then on Wednesday and Thursday, make and finish a video to upload Friday. If there's any time extra, make another video, schedule that for the next week, or upload 3 times in that week. And what I found is when I upload a video, even a video that underperforms, like I would say the first 2K, that only has 40K views, which for me is underperforming. But 40K views is still not that bad, especially when it's 1 video out of 3 in a week. Plus, every time I upload a video, YouTube recommends all my other videos alongside it. So they all get a boost, regardless of how that video really performs. So when I just look at my views, they spike up. When I look at my revenue, it spikes up every single upload. And I can grab it. Let me see here. You can still hear me over here, right?
Yeah. Are you pulling out the analytics? Is it a Excel?
I made
is it a big
plan. Let me take these thumbtacks
Noah
out.
is now getting his analytics book. It's the size of a Bible. No, I'm just kidding.
I bought a printer recently, which sounds weird in whatever year it is, 2021. But for some reason, printing stuff out physically and like putting it on the wall in front of me really helps in terms of motivation. This sheet, you can't read it, I don't think, because it's flipped, the camera.
Oh, I can see it. No, I can see it. Go back. I can see it.
Oh, it's not flipped for you?
No, I can see it. 88 videos uploaded monetized. Okay, this is a concrete, for people that are listening.
Let me make sure there's nothing on here I don't want people to read first before you include it. Hold on.
I'll blur it out if it's incriminating in any way. But basically it just says, like, these are concrete numbers, analytical numbers of his goals, uploads, monetization, all that stuff.
So I did a bunch of math. This was like a month ago. And what I did is I looked at every single YouTube video I uploaded and I counted them. And then I took my lifetime YouTube revenue and I divided the revenue by the videos I uploaded to get my average revenue per upload. And what I found was, on average, I average $1,500 per upload. Some are going to make more, some are going to make less, but that's the average. And that just kind of blew my mind because I never thought of it that way. I always thought of it like each video is separate. Like, this video is a flop. I'm pissed. I'm going to do nothing for a month out of anger because I could really get in my head sometimes. When I think of it this way, it's like, okay, so if I just upload 2 times a week, 3 times a week, and that's my average, some videos are going to do way better. Some are going to do way worse. But if that's the average, why am I not doing that? I could make so much money. And I don't think I ever really thought of that possibility before. Because like I said, my videos are, I would say, decent quality. But like you mentioned before, I didn't work that many hours to make them. So if that's the case, why not work, 25, 30 hours a week on the videos and have 2 to 3 a week? And then it's still a light, almost part-time job, 30 hours a week, right?
That's not bad.
But the money, put the money here. If I uploaded twice a week, based on my I did a range, but I can make anywhere from 130K a year to 216K a year. If I upload 3 times a week, I could average anything from 200K to 350K. And I was doing it I was underestimating it slightly. I wasn't including exponential growth because obviously as I upload, my channel keeps growing, and as my subscriber base grows, I get more views, and then each upload will average more money per upload. So if I upload 3 times a week, I can make 300K plus. That just kind of triggered something in my mind. Holy cow, I could be a rich person. That's crazy.
A rich person. Now, I feel like maybe someone listening to this might think you're being snobby or something like that, but I honestly think it's just more of you're honestly in disbelief that you could achieve something like this. It's not about flexing how much you can make. It's about finding a motivation for you. Right. You can find a motivation, and it's like, hey, this is achievable. This is doable. I'm not saying anything crazy here. It's right. I don't want people to get the wrong impression because I don't think you're that kind of guy at all.
I may have worded that in a look at me kind of.
Yeah,
I don't mean it that way.
Yeah.
Because I don't make that much money right now. Last year I made 60K, which is just a pretty average. It's like the median U.S. income. I think it might even be below for all I know. It's like lower middle class would be 60K, which is for a lot of people,
amazing. Yeah,
a lot of money.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money for me. I live alone. I can buy whatever I want for the most part in terms of electronics. But the reason I'm bringing up these numbers is instead of doing the 4-hour work week, when I saw these numbers, I would much rather do a 25, 30-hour work week if that's the potential, because that's just a crazy, and I acknowledge that I'm in a privileged spot. Most people, most YouTubers, at least my size with 100K subs or less, do not average as many views per video as I do. I'm a bit of an anomaly, but the craziest thing is that it's maintained itself over multiple years. I guess I don't know. I think quality and just clear effort put into videos makes subscribers more likely to watch anything. Where if I didn't put in as much effort, people wouldn't care as much. And I think that's really what it comes down to is effort. And then, yeah, that's if you want to be a good YouTuber, you got to put in effort. And even if at first you don't grow, eventually someone will find that effort. And you might want to market yourself. When I first started, I would upload my videos to Reddit a lot. I think my channel is banned from r/videos now because I think they caught on to it.
We've all done it, bro. Everyone's done it. Honestly, it's like a little YouTuber thing. Like, bro, if you want your content to be, it's such a weird thing. It's like, if you want your content to be out there, like, you want to try your best to show it to as many people as possible. And yeah, I get it. Like, self-promotion can be annoying, but like, at the same time, are you expecting someone that's super driven to not try their best to get it seen everywhere? Like, I don't know. To me, it's always been a weird thing with Reddit.
Well, the key, from my experience, is phrasing it as if it's not self-promotion, like as if you didn't make the video. I have like 10 Reddit accounts, and I would switch between them using a VPN so that it wouldn't recognize the same IP, and then I could upvote myself.
Of course.
10 upvotes.
Of course. That's a classic technique.
That's what I did when I had only a couple thousand subs, because my views were insane. So what happened was Reddit pushed those videos, like somehow YouTube, I'm kind of rambling here. The Eli Manning video was the first video I ever made. It's not active anymore. That popped off. I had no idea why it popped off, but in retrospect, I do know. I put the video on r/NFL as like just to see what would happen. It got downvoted, 0 upvotes, but it got like 100 comments because the video was why Eli Manning is better than you think. This was at the end of his career.
Right.
It was a bit of a controversial opinion. So people clicked on it on r/NFL before the mods removed it for, like, you can't upload your own videos or something on r/NFL. You can't upload anything except a tweet. It's the worst modded subreddit. But after that happened, I noticed YouTube, it just started pushing the video out. So like recommended videos, it went crazy. And so with the fall of Madden video that I worked really hard on, I did the same thing. I put it on Reddit, but this time intentionally with that goal in mind. And it worked. I put it on the Madden subreddit. I actually did self-promote. I said, I worked for the past few months on this video, going over like 80 plus features that used to be Madden no longer are. I think you guys will like this. And that's for the Madden subreddit, which was really negative at the time and still is, it popped off. And I think that's what helped the video blow up. I kept doing that until I had about, I think, like 20K subs. At that point, I didn't think it was necessary anymore because my subscribers would watch it and then YouTube would push it out regardless. But initially like, if you're watching this and you're like, well, I started a YouTube channel and I'm putting in effort, like you said, and my views are nothing, you could try that. However, I will say I started a new channel recently called Voided Media, where I was going to upload like non-video game sports related stuff at all. Like I have one video on it about this like tribe in Asia, I think, the Sentinelese. But I tried the same thing, and this is 2 years later. And I think YouTube's algorithm has changed because I put it on Reddit in a couple subreddits. It got upvoted. Like one subreddit, I think it got 100 upvotes. It didn't affect anything. The video stuck at 4K views, which is exactly the same as the sub count on that channel. And of course, that's just one video. Maybe YouTube doesn't recommend videos until you've uploaded a few on your channel. Like there's so many variables that I don't know.
No one knows. Yeah, no one knows. Yeah.
But I will say that might prove, there's a chance that proves that the algorithm changed where posting a video to Reddit and getting external people, like external viewers from another website coming to YouTube may not reward that anymore. Because clearly that's what happened before. YouTube was rewarding the video because it was bringing people to their website from another website, bringing YouTube money. So they were like, wow, people are clicking this video from another site. Let's push it to more of our own viewers on YouTube right now. So that was my initial strategy, which really helped me grow early on, but I can't say it would still work today. So I kind of struck gold at the perfect time. Maybe. It's my guess.
Are you worried at all? Because we did talk a lot about money and stuff. Are you worried that motivation won't be enough one day? Okay, so here's the thing. A lot of people, what happens is they go down this career path that they don't like. Let's say, I don't know, engineering for a fucking example, because that's not totally what I did. And you start making a good amount of money, right? You start seeing those bills, those dollar bills, and you start getting a little excited. But now some people have a different reaction to this. It's possible that you're like, oh wow, so much money, I'm going to buy a car, I'm going to buy a house, and you're just like, I'm going to keep doing this job because I'm going to keep making money. For some people, you're going to have a different reaction where it's like, oh wow, I have money, but I'm in a cubicle 8 hours a day. It's like, have I really made it? Have I got a really nice little prison? Like, it's still a prison, or maybe they pay me in this prison, and they let me out a couple times to see my family a week. Let's say corporate America, that's what it was. But like, I'm not happy. This is not fulfilling. You have found something that you really enjoy originally. You love video games, you love football video games, you love retro content, and immediately you found a way to monetize it and get money from it. Whereas like anyone, let's say 99% of people go down that route and they don't have any money from it originally, right? You found the success early. Are you still motivated in other senses besides the money? Would you still be doing this if you weren't profitable, let's say?
If it wasn't profitable, I would have to have a different job, obviously. But would I still make content? I would say yes. In fact, it would almost be freeing because I wouldn't have, if I'm not making money from the content, I don't care how well it performs. I could literally just create whatever I want. And whenever I retire, that's what I want to do, because I want to retire early, just keep accumulating and saving money. This part of this plan is to make as much as I can now. So I invest in all that so I can retire as soon as I can. Like 35, 40 would be awesome.
You want to come to Spain? You want to come to Spain?
I honestly,
come on down.
I've never left the U.S. I would need to at least visit first.
All right, we'll figure it out. We'll sort something. Anyways, carry on. Sorry, I had to infer, or I had to put my own thing in there. I do really want to travel. All right. Well, I think I'm in Spain next year. So if you're in Europe, you come on down. You'll have another epiphany, almost the same magnitude as the one last year.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a Spanish epiphany. I don't know what the word is in Spanish for epiphany, but it's gonna be that.
What was I saying?
You were saying motivation, money, and would you still make the videos? What would be different?
Right. So I'm really glad I have this, because I think everyone falls into this like thought process of the grass is always greener, where no matter how privileged you are, you find the flaws in it and you start to hate it, and then you want to do something else. There was a period of time when I literally just I was such an idiot this year. I don't know if like the edibles had to do with it, but like I literally ended my channel. If you remember that.
I do. I know all your problems, dude. I was your therapist for.
I look like a manic, crazy, like I look absolutely insane based on my Twitter, my old Twitter that is now deleted, brand new, fresh Twitter that I barely use. I look much more normal now. But on the old Twitter, I was so overreactionary. Like if I upload a video and it gets 30K views in the first week, I'm pissed off, I'm angry, I'm tweeting, I'm saying, why are you guys not viewing my video?
Yeah.
Not like that. But like,
right. But
like,
yeah.
Why is it not getting views? I was so mad. And then I've kind of had this realization that I'm an idiot. I'm privileged. Even at the channel's worst, even when it performs the worst, I'm still making so much money for the effort. And I started to realize, I'm not the only YouTuber that complains. If you go on Twitter, YouTubers way bigger than me complain that their videos underperform, blah, blah, blah. I started comparing how much money I make per my views to other YouTubers that complain, like other Madden YouTubers, for example. I'm not going to name them because if I'm talking about money, it's not a good idea. But these Madden YouTubers, like the ones with 300K subs and up that upload multiple times a week, they average over 100K per video. They are making sometimes over 100K a month.
That's insanity.
And I don't think people
don't understand that. Yeah, people don't understand that.
Like I was complaining because when I had a down month, I'd only make like $2,000. I feel like that's kind of valid. They're complaining that they're only making 75K one month instead of 100K. Like I see stuff like that, or like a YouTuber will, like there's a Madden YouTuber, not gonna name him, who makes all kinds of Madden content, like franchise mode, just playing around, like 99-yard field goal, blah, 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 blah. He's just a goofy dude. He rarely, but will do a MUT, Madden Ultimate Team pack opening video. And last time he did it, he got so much hate. And I saw him online just defending himself, responding to every single person, freaking out, saying like, man, I need to do this to pay my bills, dude, okay? And I'm looking at his channel, and I'm like, if he didn't upload this video, he would have made 98K this month instead of 100K.
Right. So tone deaf. Yeah. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
So my epiphany I've had recently is that I don't want to be tone deaf. I have realized how privileged I am in this situation. I don't want to be that guy on Twitter ranting that I'm not performing as well as I could, because there is no job in the world besides maybe being like an actor, where that would be fun. I'd like to be an actor, but there's no job in the world, like a desk job, that you can make this much money with this little work. And the YouTubers that are bigger than me, most of them, their videos, they put in less effort than I do. It's just their face cam and them playing a game.
And an established audience. And an established audience.
Right.
So they have like a brand kind of thing that people come back to. Yeah. Like they've built
It's
that.
just their face, people watch them.
They trust
And
their
at that
opinion
point,
at that point. Yeah. They just
It's
take it.
autopilot.
It's
they
autopilot.
Don't need
That's a
to
great
try
way.
anything new. They don't need to improve. They just keep doing what they've been doing and watch the money pile up.
That's a
And
fantastic
I feel like if I was in
expression.
that situation, I would not complain. I would rarely be on Twitter. I would just be enjoying life with all that money. But it seems like these guys live on Twitter. And again, I'm calling people out, I guess, but not directly, because when I call people out directly, bad things happen. I've been ratioed. I have been destroyed many times, even though I feel like I was in the right.
It's so funny. I made a funny video about ratioing and like how it actually legitimately means nothing, but like people still bring that up. It's like people think when they ratio someone, it's like a gunshot wound. It's like, oh, the ratio, and you just fall over at home. Like you see the Twitter thing, and you just get ratioed, like, oh, and you just fall and die.
If I tweet Madden Ultimate Team is stupid, and then a Madden Ultimate Team YouTuber with 50K followers on Twitter replies to me and says, no, of course, they're going to get more likes than my tweet.
Right.
They have so many more followers. It doesn't mean they're right, but Twitter, speaking of Twitter, I think it's really easy to think that the stuff you see on trending, the tweets that have 50K likes, 100K likes, you can think that that's a popular opinion. And I've noticed Twitter has a lot of really radical or just like dumb things people say that are so just dumb. And you'll see them have like 100K likes, 100K retweets, like it's like a popular.
It's an echo chamber.
So you see that and you're like, dang, everyone must agree with that. I hate the world. I'm pissed off. That's what
Nonsense.
The Twitter trending page can do to your mind. But the problem is 100K people out of 8 billion is like less than 0.001%. So Twitter creates this like lack. It puts you in a very big bubble. And I feel like it does nothing but bad things for your mental health to browse Twitter all day.
It's an echo chamber. It's literally an echo chamber.
Right.
It's people that all agree with each other's own one-dimensional opinions, just circle jerking each other. Oh my God, that's so true.
Right.
Like, right? And then what that does, it creates this like radical group of people that have this very narrow-minded view, very narrow-minded opinion. And the moment another opinion steps in, it's like, let's all gang up on him. And the other thing that gets crazier was like when two radical groups go at each other, there's no mediation. Like in a trial, you have someone to mediate it. You have parties declare both sides of the argument.
Right.
Here it's like, no, you're on this side, they're on that side, and this could be taken with anything. Political, it could be taken with Madden games, whatever it is. And they just go at it. And then the worst part of all of this is it's kind of fueled by the system that has been created, the algorithm, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
The negativity is just designed to put more gas into that fire. So when you realize
whatever gets the most clicks, the most engagement is what they put at the
and they show you, and they want you to go back to
negative stuff.
Exactly. And that's, to me, that's why I've been barely using Twitter. Like I've had it like with especially with like COVID and stuff. Like I can't be arguing with people on the internet with no science degrees. Like I just can't be bothered.
And the irony of it all is Twitter's tagline. Like if you go to the App Store and you go to Twitter, their tagline is "Let's talk." And I feel like Twitter's
it's the opposite.
The last place you want to go to talk.
It should be "Let's argue." It should be "Let's argue." That would be way more accurate.
Most people do not go on Twitter to have their opinion challenged. They go on Twitter to get their opinion confirmed.
100%.
And
100%.
And that's the problem. It's just like it shouldn't be an issue for someone to ask a question. And I think on Twitter, if you ask a question many times, you will get destroyed.
Yes.
Because you should already know. That's problematic. There's so many things. And I do also want to say, the way I'm talking right now, I feel like someone who's right-leaning politically would be nodding their head. They're like, yes, I hate snowflakes. But I am left-leaning politically.
Right.
I'm just not an idiot. Like, because I think Twitter's base is mostly U.S. liberals, which I would say falls almost in the middle of the spectrum, even though they probably don't even realize it. Like U.S., I don't know if you know U.S. politics that much, but U.S. Republicans and Democrats are right-leaning. Even though the Republicans will put out political ads saying that like Joe Biden is a radical leftist socialist, he is almost identical to Trump on the political compass. Like,
really? I know a little bit, not much, but yeah, I know the problems you have. You want another fun
Biden
fact?
Haters would what?
I'm gonna give you a fun fact. You want a really good fun fact? 9 out of 10 Christian groups on Facebook, like American Christian groups, have origins in Eastern Europe. Meaning the founder of those Facebook groups that claim they're from America, some dude in Eastern Europe is fucking around and it's a troll.
So, I had no idea about that. It's a fun fact.
That's a fun fact, yeah. It was literally like Joe Rogan posted like a while ago. I was like, dude, this is hilarious. I was dying. I was like, I can't believe. That's the other thing, that you're arguing with someone that you don't even know if it's a real person. You don't even know if they actually believe any of these things they're saying. So you're like, what are you even doing? Like, why are you wasting your time? But yeah, U.S.
And there's
politics,
so many trolls on Twitter. People that go on Twitter to intentionally disagree with you just to make you mad. And it's so hard to even tell who's trolling, who's not. Like the other day, if you look at my Twitter, someone tweeted a tweet about like Eli Manning, comparing him to Taylor Heineke and some other player in the most serious worded tweet. So I defended Eli in the tweet, and he responds, "It's a joke." And
yes.
I guess I got.
Yeah, you got me.
I guess I got baited.
Yeah,
but
it's impossible though.
Joke?
You can't lose.
I don't understand.
You can't win.
How it was a joke?
The problem is, it doesn't matter how stupid someone is or how stupid something like they say is. They can always retort back to the, oh, "Just kidding, bro. I can't believe you fell for that. You got baited, bro."
People will bash me, like in my comments section or on Twitter, and if I ever reply to them, almost every time they'll be like, "Oh, I didn't mean it. I was joking. I'm a big fan. Thanks for responding to me. Like, wow, you're actually talking to me. I can't believe you responded to me. This is you made my day." And it's like, what? Like, first of all, I'm not even famous. I'm just a random guy who was working at Target 2 years ago.
Dude,
like,
don't downplay yourself. How dare you? To me, it seems like you're almost like you know how like there was like kids that were I don't know, Hollywood stars in their early, like the guy from Home Alone. You have a small. Okay, I'm going with this. I'm going somewhere with this. Wait, hear me out. He had like obviously this mega fame thing, and kind of fucked him up from an early age. It's like a smaller version of that with YouTube, because in a sense you've had this enormous amount of success in something now that kids are striving to. Before, maybe a kid would say, "Oh wow, I'd love to be an actor" or something like that. It's like now the kids are looking, "Hey, I want to make YouTube videos or be on TikTok or stream." Whatever it is, you had a success in this very early age, I would say, where you didn't have a path. It just happened that it worked out really nicely, and it's trying to cope with, okay, I'm making a good living. I'm making really good money out of this. Like, where does the motivation come from? Do I want to make content that's more related to, maybe putting a greater purpose into the world, or do I want to make content on something very specific? Like, you're battling all these, I don't know, psychological things more so than anything else, because you figured out the money side of it. Now it's figuring out, it's like, okay, is this what I want to do? Like, this is the rest of my life? Do I want to make something else? And it's not an easy question.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what my end goal is?
To retire with Mean Spain.
Well, that's the financial end goal, but the creative end goal is once I get to a point. Well, right now my mindset on the channel is not even to focus on Madden. Like, I don't want to make a Madden video until at least February, when I could do 6 months after the game came out, everything wrong with Madden 22. Because I did that for Madden 20, and it got so many views. It's like one of my most popular videos, everything wrong with Madden 2020. So it's a no-brainer to make that at some point, but I don't want to do it. I didn't do it for Madden 21 just because I figured people would get mad, and I was really caring too much about what people thought back then. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to make Madden videos for the foreseeable future, and I want them to be very rare, even though they do so well. Because a lot of YouTubers in my situation would just spam the Madden videos because they perform so well.
Right.
They'd want to I feel like that's a way to kill your channel. is get your subscriber base bored, and just be too repetitive. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to make videos on so many varied sports games that my audience will just expect it, and I'll keep growing from that, and my floor for views will continue to grow. I think my floor right now is 30K at worst, is the worst I would do. And my goal is to keep raising that. So right now I'm just focusing on sports games, like retro, modern, just baseball, basketball. I'm about to make some soccer videos. I want to remake.
Oh,
I had that FIFA video.
Yes.
It's taken down. I'm going to make a brand new one because that video was horrible for many reasons, mostly because I didn't actually write it, which is a long story. I was trying to test outsourcing things. I can only trust myself with editing. I can only trust myself with scripting, and I don't trust anyone else. It's a one-man show here. But eventually, when my channel is big enough where I get views, like my floor is decently high, where I'm comfortable with my floor at every video, I want to just upload whatever I want. Just make videos that I think will help people will watch them and get inspired, or just be hilarious, just something awesome. I want to make videos where someone will watch this and be like, that was really well worth my time, regardless of who they are. Like my girlfriend, she doesn't watch my channel because she says I don't get it, because she doesn't know anything about like NFL. She doesn't know anything about Madden. She doesn't know anything about sports games. Why would she play sports games? But well, that might be sexist to say. She's not interested in playing sports games.
Fair.
If you're a girl if you're one of the 1% of my subs that are a girl,
drop a like on this video. No, I'm just kidding.
And that's not a guess. That's the YouTube analytics on my page.
Okay, so, you're not gonna cancel. You've covered your ass. Continue what you were saying. You're fine.
Oh, speaking of being canceled, I can go off topic for a second. I don't think getting canceled is real, and I want to explain why.
Oh, baby.
I feel like if I have 50,000 people on Twitter saying hashtag cancel SoftdrinkTV because I said something, like I just said something bad.
Yeah.
Like I called someone, never mind. But I said like a
a slur or something. Yeah,
not a racial slur. Don't ever put that in my mouth. But like a I don't know, just like a mean word that people used to say all the time, and now you can't say. Sure. I feel like if you just ignore it, you're fine. People will move on to the next person to cancel. It's like people have low attention spans. The problem is when you have someone like Jenna Marbles or Shane Dawson, when they make an apology video, not only is no one going to accept your apology because people don't accept apologies anymore, like that's just how Twitter is, you're introducing everyone who wasn't aware of what you did to what you did.
Yes, that's
You're
true.
making it worse.
That's true.
So I feel like if you get canceled, ignore it and everyone will forget about it. Like, for example, Joji. Do you know who Joji is?
I do know. He makes some awesome music.
So he used to be Filthy Frank.
Yes.
Which was like super edgy YouTube content. I loved it.
It was amazing.
Back in the day. It may not have aged.
I don't care. I don't care. It's amazing.
But it's still amazing. I still rewatch the skits and stuff, but he got canceled or was attempted to be canceled on Twitter for being Filthy Frank. A bunch of people on Twitter found out what he used to be. And he would say
really?
the N-word
I didn't know about
video.
that. I didn't know about that.
So they were trying to cancel Joji on Twitter, and he just he's not active like on social media. So he just never acknowledged it. It completely went away. Everyone completely forgot about it, and no one cares. And I think cancel culture is only real if you make it real. Just don't, because when you make an apology video, you're giving the people canceling you a voice. However, I will say if you do something that's actually bad, you should apologize. But if it's like 10 years ago, I made a video saying a word that everyone said back then, and I was uneducated, you don't have to be. Jenna Marbles stopped making YouTube videos because she made an Asian joke. And of course, I'm white, so it may not be the most best thing for me to talk about this because I'm not Asian. But I feel like if you made a joke, like a racist joke that was today is bad, 10 years ago was common, it's the intent that matters. If you're intending to be hateful, you deserve hate. If you're intending to just be funny and you meant no harm and it was 10 years ago.
The one caveat, there's a caveat to that though. The only caveat to that is that's for those people that have either their own audience or have their own source of income, let's say. That where it gets really bad is when you work for a company or you have another source.
Yes.
And then there's like, man, cancel culture is literally like the most cancerous thing you could probably do, because you're literally sentencing someone to death.
Their job.
And that's like a death sentence for some people. How are you going to say like you can't make income anymore? Like that's literally like a death sentence, right? So that's where it gets crazy. I'm talking
from the perspective of someone who is
an individual,
like their own business. Like if you work for a company, like if I was the CEO of AT&T for some horrible reason.
I mean, look at Keemstar. He's still around. Keemstar's around. How is that guy not canceled? Yeah. He's the worst human being out there.
Exactly. There's actually this YouTuber I've watched before named Danny Mullen, and he is a white guy, and he'll just drop an N-word with a hard R, like for shock purposes. He does like skits, and his whole channel's purpose is extreme shock comedy, and it's very niche. Like I feel like most people would be very offended by it, but he's not canceled because his audience
loves that kind of shit.
That type of content. Like Trump was only canceled because Twitter took him off. Despite how much hate he got, 50% of the country liked him.
Yeah, he got like 70 million votes or some crazy
if you
number.
Look at his tweets got as many likes as the tweets calling him out. Like Twitter just, and I'm not a Trump supporter. You have to say that because of Twitter, because of how Twitter is. It's like, let's say you're a farmer.
Fuck it, we're both Trump supporters. Let's get it, baby. Trump 2024. Fuck that.
If you're like a farmer and you want to vote Republican for tax purposes or for like a farm bill or something that will help you selfishly, I feel like that's okay. Like,
yes,
Twitter has this idea that if you don't vote Democrat, you are an evil, racist, homophobic, transphobic. You're all the phobics. You're the worst. You need to die. And it's such a black and white. There's so much more to everything.
Of course. The world's not black and white.
And all these people bashing people for this probably don't even know what they're talking about. It's not like they have a degree in politics or something. Like they're just repeating what everyone else is saying.
I hate everyone equally. I will just say this right now. I hate all of you equally, all right? I don't want you to think that I like one thing more than another. I hate all of you. No, I'm just kidding. Imagine. The one thing I did want to kind of point out, we were talking about motivation and we were talking about money and success and looking at analytics and all that stuff. Those are all, I consider bonuses. They're great. You should definitely look at your analytics, try to understand what makes your videos work. But ultimately, I've had this was a big shift for me psychologically, or the way I thought of doing stuff. There doesn't always need to be an end goal, okay? Like, do something, one, because you enjoy doing it. And then after that, then start analyzing, okay, how can I make this better? How can I improve it? But if you start out with the intention of making something better, doing something just because you enjoy it, or not better, sorry, just because you enjoy it, there are gains from that maybe you were short-sighted and you can't see those. And I've found that a lot with my current success. I've managed to switch career paths at 28, which is nonsensical. Not many people can do that. And I've done it through nothing but just my earlier content. Like, I did YouTube on the side for funsies. I didn't see $1 for the first 3 years of YouTube. And even when I started seeing money, it was nothing. But from that experience, from that knowledge, I've now been so many doors have opened up in the content space that I can legitimately think in my head. I honestly believe that I can get a job easier in content than I can in engineering. In engineering, I have a degree and 4 years of experience at some of the biggest automotive companies in the world. And I honestly think with my knowledge of what I can do on YouTube, hosting, podcasting, whatever, understanding analytics, whatever the thing may be, I can get an easier job. So don't always be short-sighted in why you're doing it. Start doing it because you love it. And it's cliche. Everyone fucking says it. Of course they do. But it's the truth. Like, just do it. And sometimes believe that, it's going to get better and that maybe doors will come from it. So yeah, I just wanted to point that because we didn't talk about that a lot, but I think it's important. I don't want anyone listening to think, hey, like, you guys are just fucking worried about money and analytics. No, it's not even about that. Like, I didn't make money, and a lot of people I know is a rare exception to this case. A lot of people don't see money for years in YouTube. For years. And many people will tell you, wow, you're wasting your time. You're doing that for nothing? How many hours a week are you putting in? Really? And in my head, it was never about that. I was like, oh, I love doing this. When a video did really well, I was like, holy shit. 1 million people saw this, or this was number one on our videos, or like, some of my proudest moments are that has nothing to do with money. My proudest moments are a video that went viral, my first ever video. It was number one on our videos, which is like, There's like maybe 1,000 videos in history that have done that. Number one on the first video. Then
Did it have positive comments? Because
all
when I was
positive
on our videos, negative.
Yours was shit, eh? No, mine was, and I didn't even upload it. I didn't even use a burner account like you. Some random dude uploaded it.
Hey, I didn't either. For NFL Draft,
oh, you didn't?
The one that actually got the number one,
yeah.
I didn't want to, because that was the one video I didn't give a background on because it was just for my audience.
Yes.
And that's why I got destroyed for it.
That's so funny. Okay, yeah, fair enough. But there was a lot of these like moments where I was so proud and happy of what I did. I had another video that was number one on FIFA because it wasn't even a FIFA video. Like maybe it was like a drone video. Then I had another video that was seen by like the football club that I support in my hometown, and they retweeted it. They loved it. So like to me, these moments have been way more valuable than money because like I was making money in my other job. It's not, who gives a shit? Like a lot of people find a way to make money doing something they don't love. Not a lot of people find a way to make money doing something they do love. And that's kind of where I'm trying to transition now. I've figured out I don't want to do cubicles. I'm done with driving to work, an hour commute. That's a privilege to not have to drive to work. I think the average American commutes 45 minutes to work every day, one way.
Oh, yeah.
That's 2 hours a day. That's 10 hours a week in a car.
And you don't get paid
you get
that.
$0 for that. I get up in the morning at 8 o'clock if I want to. And here's the craziest part. I get up whenever the hell I want. And yet I've never slept in past like 8:30. Like I don't, now the motivation is different. I know, it's wild. Before,
for me, that's.
It makes maybe some people are different. Maybe it's a whole nother thing. But for me, when I was working and I had to wake up early at like 7, 8, I was like, oh my God, this is fucking, I want to blow my brains out or take the Ambassador Bridge and just swerve, go into the fucking lake. But now it's like, I can wake up super late, but I don't want to. I have so many things going on. I have so much things that I'm excited about that I get up and I do them. And I have so much free time that I'm not wasting on the road or doing something I hate. So I'm like, I'm just investing my time in myself, and I don't necessarily see an end goal for a lot of things I'm doing. I just see it as like, I'm going to get better at this, and who knows what opportunities this will come out of this. Another one is talking to people like yourself. Like, this is a fucking awesome thing. I can get to talk to cool people. Like, I've talked to fucking the UFC heavyweight champion. I've talked to like guys that I used to watch their shows. I talked to YouTubers that I used to love watching their show. Like, to me, if I make $0 out of this, I will still come out with a net positive, which is like this experience that not anyone's going to have, right? I'm going to bit on.
Yeah, I've had a very, very similar experience. I will say there are YouTubers that I used to like, and then as I've met them, some of them are just dicks. It'll ruin them. Completely ruin them.
Right.
There's one very specific YouTuber that is at the top of my I do not like them list. And I'm sure he knows who he is. No, he's not going to watch this. But,
I know. He's definitely not watching this.
He hates me. Honestly, I literally apologized to him, even though I didn't even think I was he was straight up in the wrong. But I apologized to him just to be cool. And he still never became cool with me and then just randomly blocked me out of nowhere. Anyway, that guy, because of that, I just cannot stand him. And I'm pretty sure he only followed me in the first place because I joined this sponsorship company called Table Rock that he was a part of. As soon as I joined that, he followed me. So I think he was just being friendly. And then when he realized, oh, he makes videos about Madden being bad, he started to dislike me. And then he needed it's a long, long thing. But I agree with what you said. Like, me being able to talk to Trip Hawkins, like the guy who
That's
made
wild.
EA,
Yeah, that was sick. Yeah.
That was crazy.
I had the same moment as well. Yeah, with a guy who made Age of Empires, Sandy. Like, that was for me that moment. He made Doom. He made Age of Empires. He made Halo Wars. I'm like, dude, this is unbelievable. We talked twice. He came on twice. It was such a good episode that people wanted him to come back. I'm gonna bring him on for a third
Just
time.
Having a reach.
Yeah.
Having a reach is such a crazy thing. Like the fact that getting that hashtag trending in the US, number 2 overall, to the point where the biggest NFL podcast in the world is talking about it, even if they wouldn't put me on after saying they would. Still so pissed about that.
After all that, take a shot.
That real quick?
Yeah, I actually do. Sure, let's go. I mean, I have no time. Dude, this is the beauty of this pod. I don't care if anyone, if you're going to tune out here. I just want to talk. It doesn't matter. If you got all day, we can talk all day. Tell me.
So, Pat McAfee. Most people have heard of the Pat McAfee show. Have you heard of it?
I have. It's the big American guy talking about big American sports.
He used to be the punter of the Colts, but he was like a more football-y punter, because like normally punters are kind of wimpy. He was known as like a tougher punter. Like he'll make a tackle.
I know.
He'll try to hit stick somebody. he's also got his sense of humor. Like, he's funny. He doesn't take things too seriously. He curses. It's like his podcast is different than watching ESPN because he doesn't take it so seriously. It's not brand focused. It's just him talking football, having a good time. You know, I don't have any personal issues with him like that. So what happened was NFL drop EA. First of all, there was hashtag Fix Madden Franchise, which was not started by me. That was started by Brian Mazik, who's a Forbes writer.
I hate that guy. Absolutely hate that guy. He gave FIFA a good review. Fucking the worst. Carry on. I just want to say Brian. That. If Brian, if you're listening, fuck you. But carry on.
I like Brian. But he started that hashtag by tagging a bunch of YouTubers and people. And I was one of the first people, if not the first, to retweet it and to also tweet that hashtag. So I kind of give myself some credit for that because lots of YouTubers weren't all about that hashtag before. That hashtag went #1 trending. Like the Madden Ultimate Team YouTubers, there's one guy, another YouTuber I do not like because I've had issues with him. He tweeted like, shut the fuck up. Like, you think I would tweet about this? Or like, he would just go like pissed off and like, he could just ignored it. Like, some people get mad and all his tweet was asking was to share that Madden franchise mode needs some help. Like, it's bad. And it actually worked. EA saw the trend and acknowledged it, and they haven't really done much, but at least they acknowledged it. But anyway, I then did NFL drop EA because the game after Fix Madden franchise, the next Madden had come out and franchise mode had nothing new after Fix Madden franchise. So I made NFL drop EA with the whole point of that hashtag was I want to get attention. I want the whole world to see it because I want people to know that the NFL has a monopoly, or EA has a monopoly for NFL simulation games. And that's messed up. I don't care if Madden keeps existing. I just want other companies to have the option to make a competing game because they'd probably do a much better job. And it worked. When I told my subs to go put that on Twitter, they did. And even going to the top posts in our videos, even though the comments were saying he's not being very descriptive, it still helped it. It got to #2 trending in the US, and everyone acknowledged it. There's Fox News, Yahoo News, a bunch of articles about it. None of them credit me. And a bunch of big YouTubers, gaming YouTubers, like there's a guy named Yang Ye. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
A few other ones talked about it, made an entire video about it, didn't mention me once. Pat McAfee show had MMG on, a guy who makes MUT content, to talk about it. And so I made a tweet, and I was like,
MMG. I know this kind of YouTuber.
Dude, you know how much money that dude's probably making? And if you,
I already know.
Speaking of MMG, real quick aside, he occasionally will upload like a vlog that has nothing to do with Madden, and it will do better than his Madden videos.
Yet Truth or Drink with videos. Chase. They are the best high school team in Michigan. He'd actually, yeah, you're right. I just from the thumbnails, I already know what this guy makes. Like, I know everything I need to know. Like, I've seen this kind of content creator. He's a pretty generic influencer type. He's like, like just one of those guys. But what I think is strange about him is he claims he hates Madden. He claims it's a terrible game. He says EA hates me. But all he does is promote Ultimate Team and pack openings. And if he's making that much money, and if his vlogs are doing that well, why is he still making Madden content? I don't get it. We have the same thing in the FIFA. We had the same thing in the FIFA community, but yeah, carry on. There's like 10 of those guys in the FIFA community.
I think it's just easier. I think it's just easier content, so he's just being lazy.
Well, what he's doing is he's jumping on both bandwagons, because when people like yourself call out EA, let's say, right, they are hoping for a movement. Now, when they see a guy like that who's already big, it's like, well, what do you think? Like, do you think are you gonna say something? Oh, of course, yeah, like, yeah, fuck EA, fuck you guys, yeah, let's fucking get him. Next upload, him pack opening. It's like he's appeasing both sides of. He's like making sure he's never off the leash with EA. No, but that's because you're thinking of this very like wholeheartedly and with some sort of morality. But like, there's a lot of these people that don't think that way. They think like, where's the next bag coming from? Do I really want to piss off EA, not get invited to events? No. Do I really like this like agreement that these guys have? Not really. Like I can kind of. It's this middle ground.
I'm totally big enough now to be a game changer. There are way smaller game changers than me, and I'm
never going to be a game changer. Yeah,
never. I wouldn't be a 2K game changer. I never want to partner with the company. I want my content to be my content. As much as the game changers say that it is their content, they have guidelines.
Of course they do.
And But
carry on, Pat. Yeah, Pat. What happened? What happened?
Yeah, Pat McAfee, he had MMG on the show. So I was like, what the heck? Why is no one giving me credit for the hashtag I started? When on Twitter had my tweet as the leading tweet on the trending tab for that hashtag. It said an NFL drop EA, then under it said SoftdrinkTV, and it had my first tweet about it with like 10,000 likes. So I tweeted at Pat McAfee. I was like, hey, why don't you get the guy on your show that actually started the hashtag? And like my followers liked the tweet. And then so he followed me and then he DM'd me. And he was like, yo, you actually started the hashtag. And I told him the story. And he was like, dude, that's awesome. And he was like, I want to have you on the show. And I was like, wow, yeah, that would be awesome. So he said, all right, does tomorrow work for you? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, all right, we'll be 2 p.m. And I was like, yeah. So the next day comes around and I slept in until noon because he said 2 p.m. So I figured it was fine, right? I'm just on my phone. I message him. I'm saying like, all right, I'm ready at like 1, like just an hour ahead. Never hear from him ever again. I never hear from him again. I don't know what his show. Here's the thing. His show starts at noon. So my thought was maybe he wanted me to say I'm ready to go or talk to him about it before he started his show. But he didn't specify that. He said, can you be on tomorrow at 2? And I said, yes. So first of all, I feel like he should have responded to me and said why he didn't put me on the show after he said he would. But instead, he never responded to me. A few days later, I sent him another message. I was like, hey, man, I'm just wondering why I didn't get on the show, if we could reschedule. He never responded. Eventually, he just unfollowed me. I don't get it. What did I do?
We don't know what's really play. I mean, there's so much that could be at play here, right? First of all, we don't even know if that was him that controls his own social media, right? That could have been like his agent or whoever the fuck it was. We don't know what brands are partnered with him.
Based on how he was talking, but yeah.
We don't know what brands he's partnered. We don't know what they kind of digging they did on you. Do you think they're going to allow a guy without even looking at what you talk about, what you do, to come on the pod or on what his show? You know, I think I would, if I had to guess, that would to me.
Looked up with me that
I don't know.
Bad.
I don't know. Maybe someone.
One thing I could think of, maybe the actual video in question, the NFL Drop EA video, it is taken down now. I did call out specific YouTubers in that video. Maybe he thought it was too confrontational. The thing is, I think I was owed a response. If he chose not to go with me, I was owed like, hey, unfortunately, we can't have you on the show. Just even without an explanation, just tell me something. Instead of just ghosting me. Like, that was just something, RBT is another Madden YouTuber who I may have indirectly talked about earlier on here, but he had something sort of similar where he was invited on the Pat McAfee show, but it was like, it was a fake person inviting him. It wasn't his actual Twitter. It was like an email he got. So he made a big fit. He made a video about it. He complained on Twitter. He made another video about it. And then Pat McAfee put him on the show as like pity. I did not want that. I mean, I could have made a scene. I could have gone on Twitter. This is like over a year ago. I could have gone on Twitter and been like, Pat McAfee straight up ghosted me, dude. He said I was going to be on the show today. What happened? I could have made a big deal, but I don't want to be on your show because of pity. I don't want to be on your show at all anymore because of how you ghosted me. So that was just it made me dislike Pat McAfee, and it makes me never, ever want to watch his show because that's just, you invite me on, you give me a time, and then you never talk to me again. I think that's just messed up. But maybe, I don't know. I think I was owed an explanation.
That's another thing maybe that people don't realize or talk about is YouTube is we made the Hollywood comparison a bit earlier, but here's another way that kind of is like Hollywood. It's a very small group of people that do it. So, and you're very on your own little island. You're very alone in a sense that you don't know who you can trust. It's even kind of worse than Hollywood. Yes. You don't ever meet people. You don't ever really have a conversation with them. So it's like, how do you develop a business partnership with people in your space if you never meet them? You never really know their true intentions. You never talk to them. It's like, it's very difficult.
Never DM people things you don't want to go out there. Like, don't DM a YouTuber you think you can trust about another YouTuber.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
I've done it. That said YouTuber sent the DMs to the other YouTuber who then publicly tweeted about it. So, and that's the guy who I straight up apologized to, who then blocked me. Like, that's the freaking dude who just hates my guts
for
no apparent reason. So I guess it's mutual, I guess, although I really don't care that much. Plus, I looked at his numbers. That dude, I don't want to name him because I've named him before, and it's just like it just causes drama when you name somebody. So if I don't name him, I could not even talk about him. Who knows? Maybe I had two very similar situations. But the dude makes over 100K a month some months. Like he's one of those examples. So why does he care so much?
Right. I mean, maybe that's all he's got to do. You know, maybe that's what he doesn't have anything else to worry about or do.
He tweets like every 30 minutes, sometimes every minute. Like he can't go an hour without tweeting. And I feel like if I had that much money, I would find such cooler things to do than tweet. Right. I can tweet when I'm broke. Right. I can be broke and tweet. You know?
Hashtag Twitter broke. Twitter for broke people. Yeah, I mean, I learned that really early in this. I don't want to call it a game. It's weird talking about these things because it's such a new space. I feel like a douchebag, but I learned that very early that like there's so few people you can actually trust. And I worked as a really strange work. I made content in the space that it's like one of the most slimiest. And you're in the same area as me, EA and Madden and FIFA. Like I would say 98% of the people in that community are just bottom of the barrel human beings from a morality standpoint. These guys would stab their own mothers in the back if it meant EA would keep them as game changers. Some of them literally, I think, have that kind of narcissistic, all about me personality. So I was very fortunate when I first started making content. First of all, I never had that massive success that I have to worry about it. But I was already well in my mid-20s before I like had any real success. So I kind of was well grounded. And the people that I met originally, I can spot right away. Okay, this guy's a bullshitter. This guy's a real deal. Like when I made a few friends in the FIFA scene, those are friends that I'm hanging on to even today. Like these are some of my closer friends that some of them I've met maybe once in my life, but I know now, bullshitter, real person here. And like it's very tricky when you're young and you have some success and you start meeting these people, you start talking, oh, you think everyone's your friend, everyone wants the best. It's not the case. It's a very dirty
When you first start, you get excited because it's like, oh, these people I've just got followed by a YouTuber.
Right.
Like even if they have 10K, like I remember a YouTuber with 10K subs in his bio would follow me and I'd be like, yo, that's crazy. I tell all my friends.
Right.
I'd be like, dude, this guy with 10,000 subs just followed me. Can you believe that? Like you like everyone who follows you. And then as time goes on, you start to realize like, wait a second, like that dude sucks.
Sure. Of course. You have that moment where you're like, man, it's like the curtain unfolds. You're like, oh, fuck. That's what was there the whole time. Like, ugh,
I feel like the important thing is to stay down to earth. Like you don't want to come across as tone deaf. And I think a lot of them, these YouTubers do that. Like they have such an ego from making content from like, oh, like I feel like you shouldn't gain an ego from being privileged. Like
no,
YouTube, there's a lot of luck to YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a lot of luck to it.
Stay grounded.
I mean, if you really earn it, like let's say you grind like crazy, your content's actually really good. Like, yeah, you can maybe, I mean, still though, I feel like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Viewers?
Yeah, it's never
like a guy
like
Rice
time.
Gum.
Yeah, weird. I mean,
like those types of people, like your viewers are mostly kids on YouTube. It's so many kids. Most of your comments are kids. Most of your engagement is kids. Because I've noticed older people don't really comment. They don't even make an account. They just kind of go on YouTube, on Google and stuff. So like I think 50% of my views come from like older people, but most of my engagement is kids. So like most of my Twitter followers are kids. My Discord server is straight up. Very few are over 18. So it makes no sense to these kids in school to be like, dude, look, I got a freaking paddock on my wrist and,
right.
whatever people buy, like rich stuff. Don't flex. At least the Madden community, I never see them really flexing on people. I was really surprised to find out these dudes make over 100K a month because like they don't make it clear with how often they complain. It's weird. But yeah, you can make such crazy money on YouTube. Like I can only imagine. Like if you imagine being like a big YouTuber, like Mr. Beast, like
I don't even want to think
richer
about
than
that.
He's a brand. He's probably worth $1 billion.
Maybe, yeah. Like, that's not even a crazy statement. Like I think he might actually be.
If I could make 300K by working 25 hours a week on a very niche channel, Mr. Beast
has 7 channels that all average 7 million views a video. Like it's crazy.
Exactly.
And sometimes his main channel is like 30 million.
if you monetize correctly, 1 million views is roughly $10,000. So just think about that. It's crazy. 100K is $1,000.
But yeah, that kind of it's but like this is what I was saying earlier. This is such a perfect thing because like that money does get to your head. It's not okay. It's obviously not Hollywood. It's not like you get 1 million views, you get like Macaulay Culkin level of famous where literally you were known everywhere you go. But you get a little taste of that wealth. You get a little taste of that like holy shit.
Yeah.
This is more money than I would have earned if I went any like sensible career path like that. Probably my parents told me about. So you start thinking, oh shit, I'm a little better than everyone. I'm a little fucking, I fucking did it, you little fuckers. You start like having this little ego come out of nowhere. Right. So it's like, and like when you're 17, 18, 19, 20, that's why I think you've remained pretty grounded, which I think is pretty remarkable. I don't know. To me, that's the most interesting part. So as much as
if I'm making millions, we'll see.
Well, then
it's a different story.
Then you're gonna buy me the island in Spain that I've always wanted, and you're not gonna worry about it. All right, dude. We've talked about. Do we call it? We're already an hour and a half, believe it or not.
I mean, I feel like there's a lot more I can talk about if you want, but it's more editing work for you.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 5 p.m. where I am. I told my friend I'd be busy until 6.
Okay, let's keep going.